Nehemiah chapter 10. Now, because of all this, we are making a binding agreement in writing, and the names of our leaders, our Levites, and our Kohanim are affixing their seals on the document. On the sealed document were Nehemiah, the governor, the son of Hakaliah, Zedekiah, and Seraiah, Azariah, Jeremiah, Pashur, Amariah, Malkiah, Hattush, Shebaniah, Maluk, Harim, Meremot, Obadiah, Daniel, Ginethon, Baruch, Meshulam, Abiyah, Mijamin, Maziah, Bilgai, and Shemaiah. These were the Kohanim. And the Levites were Jeshua, son of Azaniah, Binui from the sons of Henadad, Kadmiel, and their associates Shebaniah, Hodiah, Kelita, Pelaiah, Hanan, Micah, Rehob, Hashabiah, Zakur, Sherebiah, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Bani, and Beninu. The leaders of the people, Parosh, Pahad Moab, Elam, Zatu, Bani, Buni, Asgad, Bebai, Adoniah, Bigvai, Adin, Ater, Hezekiah, Azur, Hodiah, Hodiah, Hashum, Bezai, Harif, Anathoth, Nebai, Makpiash, Meshulam, Hezir, Meshezabel, Zadok, Jaddua, Peletiah, Hanan, Anaiah, Hoshea, Hananiah, Hashub, Halohesh, Pilha, Shobek, Mehum, Hashabna, Masaiah, and Haiah, Hanan, Anan, Maluch, Harim, and Baana. Now the rest of the people, the Kohanim, the Levites, the gatekeepers, the singers, the temple servants, and all who had separated themselves from the peoples of the lands for the sake of the Torah of God, along with their wives, their sons, and their daughters, who were able to understand, all joined their brothers, the nobles, and enter into a curse and an oath to walk in the Torah of God given through Moses, the servant of God, and to keep and do all the mitzvot of Adonai our God, along with his ordinances and his statutes. Furthermore, we will not give our daughters to the people of the land, and we will not take their daughters for our sons. When the peoples of the land bring merchandise or any kind of grain on Shabbat, we will not buy from them on Shabbat or on a holy day. Also, every 7th year, we will forego working the land and the depth of every hand. We also assume responsibility for the mitzvot to give a third of the shekel each year for the work of the house of our God, for the rows of bread, the regular grain offering and regular burnt offering, the Shabbatot, the new moons, for the Moadim, for the holy things, for the sin offerings to atone for Israel, and for all the service of the house of our God. We, the Kohanim, the Levites, and the people, have cast lots concerning the offering of wood to bring it into the house of our God, according to our ancestral house at the appointed times year by year, to burn on the altar of Adonai, our God, as it is written in the Torah. Also to bring the first fruit of our land and the first fruit of all fruit trees year by year to the house of Adonai, and the firstborn of our sons and our livestock, as written in the Torah, the firstborn of our cattle and our sheep, to the house of our God, to the Kohanim ministering in the house of our God, and the first of our course meal, along with our offerings, the fruit from every kind of tree, new wine and oil, to the Kohanim at the storerooms of the house of our God, as well as 1/10 of the crop of our land to the Levites, for they, the Levites, receive tithes in all the towns where we labor. Also the Kohen, the descendants of Aaron, will be with the Levites when the Levites receive the tithe, and the Levites will bring a tenth of the tithes up to the house of our God, to the storerooms of the treasury for Bnei Israel, and the sons of Levi will bring the grain offering, new wine, and oil to the storerooms, where the utensils for the sanctuary and for the ministering Kohanim, the gatekeepers, and the singers are kept. We will not forsake the house of our God. Chapter 11. So the leaders of the people dwelt in Jerusalem, while the remainder of the people cast lots to bring one out of every 10 to live in Jerusalem, the holy city, while the other 9 remained in the other towns. Then the people blessed all the men who volunteered to dwell in Jerusalem. These are the leaders of the province who dwelt in Jerusalem, some of Israel, the Kohanim, the Levites, the temple servants. The children of Solomon's servants dwelt in the towns of Judah, each on its own property in their towns, and some of the descendants of Judah and the Benjamin dwelt in Jerusalem. From the sons of Judah, Attaiah, son of Uzziah, son of Zechariah, son of Amariah, son of Shephatiah, son of Mahalalel, from the descendants of Perez, also Maaseiah, son of Baruch, son of Kol-Hoseh, son of Hazaiah, son of Adaiah, son of Joiarib, son of Zechariah, son of Shilonite. In all 468 sons of Perez dwelt in Jerusalem, valiant men. Now these are the sons of Benjamin: Salu, son of Meshullam, son of Joed, son of Pedaiah, son of Kolaiah, son of Maaseiah, son of Ithiel, son of Jeshaiah. Following him were 928 valiant men. Joel, son of Zikri, was in charge over them. Judah, son of Hasenua, was second over the city. Of the Kohanim, Jedaiah, son of Joiarib, Jachin, Seraiah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Zadok, son of Meraioth, son of Ahitub, the ruler of the house of God, their relatives who performed the work of the house, 822. Also Adaiah, son of Jeroham, son of Pelaiah, son of Amzi, son of Zechariah, son of Pashhur, son of Malchiah, and his relatives, leaders of ancestral lines, 242. Also Amashsai, son of Azarel, son of Ahazai, son of Meshilemoth, son of Immer, and their relatives were 128 valiant warriors. Zabdiel, son of Hagedolim, was in charge over them. From the Levites, Shemaiah, son of Hashub, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah of Buni. From the leaders of the Levites, Shabbatai and Josabad had oversight over the external business of the house of God. Mattaniah, son of Micah, son of Zabdi, son of Asaph, the director who led the Thanksgiving prayer. Also Bakbukiah, second among his relatives, and then Abda, son of Shamua, son of Galal, son of Jeduthun. In all, there were 284 Levites in the holy city. Also, there were 172 gatekeepers, Akub, Talmon, and their brothers, who kept watch at the gates. At the rest of Israel, the Kohanim and the Levites, were in all the towns of Judah, each in his own inheritance. But the temple servants dwelt on the Ophel, the Ziha, and Gishpa over the temple servants. The one in charge over the Levites in Jerusalem was Uzi, the son of Bani, son of Hashabiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micah, from the sons of Asaph, who were singers responsible for the service in the house of God. The king's command concerning them was to provide regular daily support for the singers. Pethahiah, the son of Meshezabel, from the descendants of Zerah, the son of Judah, was the king's agent for any matter concerning the people. Now, as for the villages with their fields, some of the peoples of Judah dwelt in Kiriatarba and its towns, in Dibon and its towns, in Zekabziel and its villages, in Jeshua, in Molada, in Beth Pelet, in Hazar Shual, in Beersheba, and its towns, in Ziklag in Mekona and its towns, in En Rimon in Zora, in Zarmuth, in Zanoah, Adulam, and their villages, in Rashish and its field, and in Azekah and its towns. So they settled from Beersheba to the Hinnom Valley. The descendants of Benjamin dwelt in Geba, Michmas, and Aiah, Bethel and its towns, Anathoth, Anatoth, Nob, Ananiah, Hazor, Rama, Githaim, Hadid, Zeboim, Nebalat, Lod, Ono, and Geharashim. Some of the divisions of the Levites of Judah settled with Benjamin. Chapter 12. Now these are the Kohanim and the Levites who returned with Zerubbabel son of Shealtiel and Jeshua, Seraiah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Maluch, Hattush, Shekaniah, Rehum, Meremot, Ito, Ginethoi, Abia, Mijamin, Maadiah, Bilga, Shemaiah, Joyarib, Jedaiah, Salu, Amok, Hilkiah, and Jedaiah. These were the leaders of the Kohanim and their brothers in the days of Jeshua. The Levites were Jeshua, Binui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, and also Mattaniah. He and his brothers conducted the songs of praise, and Bakbukiah and Uni, their brothers, were opposite them in ranks. Jeshua fathered Joachim, Joachim fathered Eliashib, Eliashib fathered Joyada, Joyada fathered Jonathan, and Jonathan fathered Jaddua. In the days of Joachim, the family leaders of the Kohanim were Meraiah for Seraiah, Hananiah for Jeremiah, Meshulam for Ezra, Jehohanan for Amariah, Jonathan for Meliku, Joseph for Shebaniah, Adna for Harim, Helkai for Merayot, Zechariah for Iddo, Meshulam for Ginethon, Zikri for Abiyah, Piltai for Miniamin, and Moadiah, Shamua for Bilgah, Jehonathan for Shemaiah, Jetanai for Joyarib, Uzi for Jedaiah, Kalai for Salai, Eber for Amok, Hashabiah for Hilkiah, and Nathaniel for Jedaiah. The family heads of the Levites were recorded in the days of Eliashib, Joyada, and Johanan, and Jaddua, as well as for the Kohanim, up until the reign of Darius the Persian. The family leaders among the sons of Levi were recorded in the books of the Chronicles up to the days of Johanan, son of Eliashib. So the leaders of the Levites were Hashabiah, Sherebiah, the Jeshua, son of Kadmiel, with their brothers facing them, to give praise and thanks according to the commandment of David, the man of God, one section responding to the other. Mattaniah, Bakbukiah, Obadiah, Meshulam, Talmon, and Akub were gatekeepers guarding the storehouses at the gates. These served in the days of Joachim, son of Jeshua, son of Jozadak, in the days of Nehemiah the governor, and of Ezra the Kohen scribe. At the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, they sought out Levites from all their places to bring them to Jerusalem to celebrate the dedication with joy and thanksgiving, and songs with cymbals, harps, and lyres. The companies of singers were also assembled from the district around Jerusalem, and from the Netophathite villages, and from Beth Gilgal, and from the field of Geba and Matzmavet, for the singers had built communities for themselves round about Jerusalem. After the Kohanim and the Levites had purified themselves, they purified the people, the gates, and the wall. Then I led the leaders of Judah up to the wall and appointed 2 great choirs to give thanks. One of the processions went to the right on the wall toward the dung gate, and going after them, Hoshaiah the half And half of the leaders of Judah, Azariah, Ezra, and Meshullam, Judah, Benjamin, Shemaiah, and Jeremiah, some of the Kohanim with trumpets, Zechariah, son of Jonathan, son of Shemaiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micaiah, son of Zakur, son of Asaph, and his brothers Shemaiah, Azarel, Milalai, Gilalai, Maai, Nethanel, Judah, and Hanani, all with the musical instruments of David, the man of God. Ezra the scribe was ahead of them. They went over the fountain gate and continued up the stairs of the city of David at the ascent to the wall and passed above the house of David all the way to the water gate toward the east. The second Thanksgiving choir proceeded to the left. I followed them along with half of the people on the wall above the tower of furnaces as far as the broad wall, over the Ephraim gate, the gate of the old city, the fish gate, the tower of Hananel, and the tower of the 100. To the sheep gate, they stopped at the gate of the guard. So the two Thanksgiving choirs stood in the house of God. So did I, along with half the officials with me, and the Kohanim, Eliakim, Maaseiah, Miniamin, Micaiah, Elioenai, Zechariah, and Hananiah with their trumpets, and also Messiah, Shemaiah, Eleazar, Uzziah, Jehohanan, Malchiah, Elam, and Ezer. The singers sang under the direction of Jezreiah. On that day they offered great sacrifices and rejoiced, for God had given them great joy. The women and children also rejoiced. The joy in Jerusalem could be heard from far off. On that day men were appointed over the storehouses for the offerings, first fruits and tithes. They were to gather into them the portions from the field of the cities required by the Torah for the Kohanim and the Levites. For Judah delighted in the Kohanim and in the Levites who were ministering. They kept the ceremonial functions of their God and the ceremony of the purification according to the command of David and of Solomon his son. For of old, in the days of David and Asaph, there were leaders of the singers who sang songs of praise and thanksgiving to God. So in the days of Zerubbabel and of Nehemiah, all Israel gave daily portions for the singers and the gatekeepers. They also set apart the portions for the Levites, and the Levites set apart the portion for the sons of Aaron. Chapter 13. On that day, the scroll of Moses was read aloud in the hearing of the people. The command was found written in it that no Ammonite and Moabite should enter into the assembly of God forever, for they did not meet Bnei Israel with bread and water, but instead hired Balaam against them to curse them. However, our God turned the curse into a blessing. When they heard the Torah, they separated from Israel all of mixed ancestry. Prior to this, Eliashib the Kohen was given authority over the storerooms in the house of our God. He was closely associated with Tobiah and provided him with a large chamber previously used to store the offerings, frankincense, and the temple vessels, and also the tithe of grain, wine, and oil prescribed for the Levites, singers, and gatekeepers, along with the offerings for the Kohanim. I was not in Jerusalem during all of this, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, I went to the king. After a period of time, I requested to take leave from the king and return to Jerusalem. Then I discovered that the evil that Eliashib had done for preparing a chamber for Tobiah in the courts of the house of God. It greatly displeased me, so I threw all of Tobiah's household goods outside of the storeroom and commanded the storerooms to be cleansed. Then I restored the utensils of the house of God, the offerings, and the frankincense. I also learned that the portions for the Levites had not been provided, and that each of the Levites and singers who performed the work had gone back to his own field. So I rebuked the leaders and asked, "Why has the house of God been forsaken?" I assembled them and stationed them at their posts. Then all Judah brought the tithe of grain, new wine, and oil to the storehouses. I put Shelemiah the Kohen, Zadok the scribe, and Pedaiah from the Levites in charge over the storehouses, and made Hanan son of Zakur, son of Mattaniah, their assistant, because these men were considered faithful. Because these men they were responsible for distributing to their brothers. Remember me for this, O my God, and do not blot out my loving kindness that I have done for the house of my God and for overseeing it. In those days I saw in Judah some people treading wine presses on the Shabbat, some bringing and loading heaps of grain on donkeys, as well as wine, grapes, figs, and various other burdens, bringing them into Jerusalem on the Shabbat day. So I warned them about selling food on that day. Men from Tyre who lived there were bringing fish and all kinds of merchandise and were selling it on the Yom Shabbat to the children of Judah, even in Jerusalem. So I complained to the nobles of Judah and asked them, "What is this evil thing that you are doing? You're profaning Yom Shabbat. Didn't your ancestors do exactly the same, causing our God to bring all the evil upon us, upon the city? So now you're bringing even more wrath upon Israel by profaning Yom Shabbat." When evening darkness began to fall on the gates of Jerusalem before Yom Shabbat, I commanded the doors to be shut. I further commanded that they should not be opened till after Yom Shabbat. I appointed some of my attendants over the gates so that no burden could enter during Shabbat. Once or twice the traders of those selling all kinds of merchandise camped outside Jerusalem, but I warned them and said to them, "Why are you camping next to the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you." From that time they no longer came on the Shabbat. Then I commanded the Levites to purify themselves and to come and guard the gates in order to sanctify Yom Shabbat. Remember this also on my behalf, O my God, and have compassion on me according to the greatness of your loving kindness. In those days I also saw Jews who had married women from Ashdod, Ammon, and Moab. Half of their children spoke the dialect of Ashdod, or the language of their peoples, but none of them understood the language of Judah. So I rebuked them, I cursed them, beat some of their men, and pulled their beards. I made them swear by God, saying, "You shall not give your daughters to their sons, or to take their daughters for your sons or for yourselves." Didn't Solomon, king of Israel, sin about these things? Yet among many nations there was never any king like him. Yes, he was beloved by his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, the foreign woman caused even him to sin. But must we then hear about you doing all this great evil, thereby being unfaithful with our God by marrying foreign women? Now, one of the sons of Joiada, son of Eliashib the Kohen Gadol, was son-in-law of Sanballat the Horonite. So I drove him from me. O my God, please remember them for the defilement of the priesthood, as well as the covenant of the priesthood and the Levites. So I purged them from everything foreign and assigned duties for the Kohanim and the Levites, each to his own task, and for the wood offering at appointed times, and for the first fruits. Remember me, O my God, for good.